Hey there, YouTube! Daryl back at you again for another episode of Daryl's Vape Tape. So today, we're going to be looking at the Playboy Vixen Mini. And I gotta tell you guys, the first Playboy Vixen tank came out, and I was like, man, Playboy's making tanks. I got it for my woman, and then I started vaping on it, and I really loved it. I mean, the flavor was great. I mean, it was a bitch to fill. That was probably the major downfall, was a bitch to fill. Okay, but they came back with this Playboy Vixen Mini. They've made some major improvements. They got a top fill now. It's got this nice little integrated little drip tip on it now, and it performs well. I mean, the thing that I love the most about the Playboy tanks was probably the coils. It's the best Atlantis version coils out there on the market, okay? And I love the coils. The wicking holes on the coils are just massive, and the flavor is amazing out of these tanks, and I love them. I love them to death, okay? I didn't vape on the other Playboy tank that much because it was a bitch to fill, okay? It did hold 4.5 mils, so it holds a little bit more juice, but it was just a pain in the ass, okay? But it vaped great, okay? Now they came out with this Playboy Vixen Mini, and it is amazing, okay? And it performs great. I really do like it. So, you guys can see this is the Playboy Vixen original, and you can see the size difference there. It's just a lot bigger. And like I said, this one, compared to the top fill on this one, the airflow's about the same. The coils are identical. They've done some really good stuff. I mean, this one only holds 2.5 mils, but I can deal with it because it's top fill, so I can fill it up whenever I need, and it's just as quick as easy as any other tank that's top fill. Okay, so right now I'm running the 0.5 coil, the same 0.5 coil that I got installed about a week and a half ago when I got it in. The coils last a long time. I love these coils. I buy these coils to put in my, the Silo Beast, my Atlantis version 2. I buy these coils over Atlantis style coils any day of the week just because of the wicking holes. They're just awesome coils, and they got the 0.2 coil, the 0.5 coil, and the nickel 200 coil, okay? So like I said, I'm the 0.5 coil right now, and I'm running 70 watts. That maxes out the coil. Let's go ahead and take a vape. The flavor is amazing. I mean, it's on par with any of the other good flavored tanks out there on the market right now. I mean, they just did an awesome job with it. I really do love this tank, okay? So, without further ado, I want you guys to take a seat back on a love seat, relax, take a big fat vape, and there's no better way to show you this tank than to dive down up close. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Right, so we're looking at the packaging right now, and Playboy does a really good job on their packaging. I really like it. They just do a nice, clean, sleek package. I mean, they do really good. So let's go ahead and take a look around the box real quick. Okay, so on the top here you have your Playboy. On the bottom you got your Vixen Mini. It says top and bottom filling right there. Okay, on the bottom it says Playboy Premium Vapor, and then on each side it says Playboy. All right. Okay, on the back, just like always, you got all the information about what we got in the box, some information down here, and then a couple paragraphs from the company itself, okay? Down here on the bottom, you got your authentication barcode right there, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got in here. Bam, take the top cup off, and right here it is. So the tank, that's the star of the show. We'll look at that here in a second. Right here, it comes with a backup glass drip tip for this tank only, okay? And I'll show you guys that here more in a second. And it comes with a backup nickel 200 coil right here, okay? The 0.5 coil is the one that comes installed, all right? So I got a couple coils right here. Let's take a look at them. They have massive wicking holes on them. I mean, you can just see how massive they are. They're huge. I mean, I think they're 5 millimeter in diameter right there. I mean, it's just massive. I mean, these just trump any other Atlantis style coil out there, okay? And they got a 0.5, a 0.2, and a nickel 200 coil, okay? I also like to mention this is the only nickel 200 coil out there on the market for Atlantis style tanks that is a 0.1 ohm. I can't find another one. All the ones that I find out there are 0.15. This one's a 0.1, okay? Awesome vape on these. I really do love these nickel 200 coils on this tank. They're just really nice. So, and it is also a dual parallel vertical coil, okay? So you can see how the coil goes down. On the bottom, it has massive wicking holes right there. It has 4 of them all the way around. And I mean, it's just a really nice coil, okay? So why don't we get back to the tank real quick, okay? Right here you have the tank. You can see it says Playboy right up here on top. Here's the drip tip that I was talking about. Comes with a spare one, but it's only for this tank. You can see the glass is held on by those two O-rings right there, and this just kind of slides right back on there. Okay, so this is only for this tank. That's definitely a con, and I'll mention it again, but you know, you're not going to be able to put your own drip tip on this, so that's definitely a con for some people, okay? So, get some specs on it. It's 52 millimeters length, and it's a 22 millimeter base, okay? It's made out of primarily stainless steel, but they do have on this black one at least, they do have kind of a powder coated finish on that. I don't know what quite to call it, but it is kind of like a powder coated, like kind of like a sleek finish to it, but really nice looking tank. It's definitely a little smaller than the original Playboy. I got the original Playboy, and you can just see the size difference on that. You know, you can definitely know why it's the Mini, alright? And I love this tank, but they've made some major improvements on this original, or on this Playboy Vixen Mini, and I just love all the improvements. They've done very well with it, okay? So let's set this guy back down. Alright, so to fill it, you're going to unscrew this top cap here, and it fills right there. So you see your dripping holes on either side, okay? And you can just drip it right in there. It's going to hold about 2.5 mils of juice capacity, okay? So, I mean, not bad. The original one held about 4.5, so, I mean, it's a little looser, but it is the Mini. So, okay, so on the bottom, what they call the triangle theory airflow, okay? So, basically, that means that you have one right here, you have one on this side and one on this side that are parallel with each other, okay? And this tank has amazing airflow. I mean, the airflow on this tank is just awesome. I just really do love it, alright? So, you spin it on one side, it's going to be the same all the way around the board, alright? And you can see they have four little rings that go around the tank as well. They don't restrict the airflow at all. I mean, this is one of the best airflow tanks that I have. I mean, it's just super awesome, okay? Right here on the bottom, you got your copper pin right there. Nice, smooth 510 threads right there. I mean, just silky smooth on those. It protrudes out a little bit, but not too much. Fits nice and flush on all the mods that I got, okay? So, unscrew this guy and let's look at the innards on this tank. This guy nice and unscrewed real quick. Alrighty, okay? So you do have this little seal right here. This can either sit in the bottom of the tank or it can go in the top. So if this came off, you just kind of press this guy right back in there, and then when you put the tank back on, the glass will push that right back on there, okay? I don't know if you want to call it maybe a gasket or a ring or whatever you want to call it, but it is right there, okay? It made some improvements on that. That is a lot thicker than the original, okay? So you can fill it right here on the bottom if you want it. So you can just fill it right here on the bottom if you wanted. That's how the original filled, and it's a bitch. So I'm glad that they made this top fill, okay? Pop this off. It also has another rubber O-ring that goes in the top right there, and there's your inner chimney, okay? So you see how it's massive wicking holes right there? I mean, so it gets straight to the wick. I think that's one of the reasons why it has awesome flavor on this tank. One of the best flavor tanks that I have, okay? So, let's get it all put back together. So this is going to slide back on there like so. And then you're just going to, you see how it's kind of pushed out a little bit right there? You're just going to push this guy right back in. And it should just slide right back in there. And then just screws on. And like I was telling you guys, it comes with a 0.5 coil installed. And that's pretty much about it for this Playboy tank. So why don't we take it back up top? We'll take a couple vapes on it, and we'll go over the pros and cons. Alrighty, so I just got done showing you guys the up close and personal with the Playboy Vixen tank. Take it back up top. We're going to take a couple vapes on it, let you guys know how it performs, and go over the pros and cons, okay? So let's take a vape. 70 watts, reading the 0.5 coil. Awesome cloud production, great flavor, great airflow. I mean, there's a lot of bonuses about this tank. I mean, it's a really nice sub-ohm tank, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into the pros and cons, all right? So the first pro for me is its top fill. Makes it super convenient. I mean, some major improvements off the original Playboy tank. And I mean, I just love that it's top fill, okay? And, you know, the next pro for me is definitely the airflow. Airflow for days. I mean, this tank does great. I mean, it's just whether you close it off, open it up, you're going to get a nice airy draw every time, okay? The next pro for me is it takes Atlanta-style coils, okay? So I can say that the Playboy coils are better than the Atlantis coils, all right? But it is nice to be able to go out and get a coil, whether it's an Atlantis coil or the Playboy Vixen coil, all right? So I like that you can go out and get a coil. Any vape shop in the whole country is going to have an Atlantis coil. Okay, so it's nice, all right? The next pro for me is just the look of it. I mean, I just like the look, all right? It's just a nice, small sub-ohm tank, all right? I like that they put the black on black with the black Pyrex glass in there. Got the black drip tip. They just did a really nice job. And when I got it in the package, there was no residue, no oil. They just did a really good job. Nice, crisp, clean packaging, okay? Next thing for me is going to be the size, all right? Compared to the Playboy Vixen Original, you can see the size difference there. I mean, this tank right here is a lot bigger. I mean, you can just tell. And I like having a nice little sub-ohm tank sometimes. It's just nice, all right? For you guys that want to discreetly vape, something small, you guys like a compact tank, this is going to be the one. I mean, it's a really nice tank, all right? So let's go ahead and get into the cons. There's a couple of them, all right? So the first con for me is going to be the drip tip, all right? Even though I like this glass drip tip, I like being able to put my own drip tip on there. I would love to throw a Copodrinity drip tip on there, okay? But you can't. With the top cap, the way it's built, it does come with a spare one of these, so, I mean, I like that. I mean, it is a bonus that it comes with a spare, but I would like if it just took a, just standard 510 drip tip, all right? But it doesn't, all right? Next con for me is going to be it didn't come with a spare glass in the kit. You have to put a spare glass in the kit. I mean, I don't know how many times. I've done it probably 2 or 3 times. Not on this tank per se, but on another tank, filling it up, drop the glass, it's going to break immediately. Okay, so I just wish they would have put that in there. All right, so I mean, that's just one minor con for me, but it is there. All right, the next one for me, this is the mini, but it only holds 2.5 mils. So, I would like a little bit more. Maybe, 3 mils, 3.5 mils, just a little bit more. But, it is the mini, so I understand. All right. That's pretty much about it for the cons. I mean, there's not too many more cons. So, if you guys are looking for one of these Playboy Vixen tanks, you want to get your hands on it, they're running 25 to 30 bucks. All right. So, for what you get in the package, you get a pretty good deal. I mean, you get the spare drip tip, the spare backup coil. I wish they had the spare backup Pyrex glass in there. But for 25 to 30 bucks, you can't really beat it. I mean, that's right up on par with any of the other sub-ohm tanks out there right now. But they just did a really good job with this tank. They made some major improvements from the Playboy Vixen Original. And I really do like it, okay? It performs really well. I mean, I like the size of it, like the look of it. They just did a great job. I really do like it. So, that's pretty much going to sum it up for me today. I'll make sure I put all the stuff in the description for all the things I used in today's video. And, I want you guys to have a great day. I'm going to close this video out with a vape and good vaping.